Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 24 of the Make It Rain podcast. Another 3-game week for the Ontario Reign. I sound like a broken record in that regard. Horns going, we're fired up. Let's do this. Here we go.
That was actually kind of a nice little touch to the intro. It would sound better if they won.
Welcome back to the Make It Rain podcast, episode 24. This is all things Los Angeles Kings pipeline prospect related. Alongside the hockey news very own Anthony Collazo, I'm Joe O'Regan, and the Ontario Reign have lost 5 straight games. Anthony, how are we?
Joe, everybody watching the pod. I'm good, man. I'm in my Stater Bros clothing.
Yeah.
Long week. A little bit tired. But it's podcast time. It's always fun to do a podcast. And we do it, we don't got a lot of people watching, but we got people watching.
That's
And
facts.
we're grateful for all of you guys. We really are. This is why we do it.
We appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Just a lot of meh going for the Reign right now. So you dropped 2 in Colorado. You got 3 games this week. And that's about all you need for the preview of this episode. Let's get into all the Zamboni cleaning. So, kind of caught Marco Sturm off guard. Kind of caught all of us off guard Wednesday, Thursday, whenever it happened.
It was Friday.
But the Ontario Reign paper transaction, Brandt Clark, down to the American Hockey League roster and then right back up to the NHL roster, just so he's eligible for the Calder Cup playoffs. If the Reign, one, make it that far, they don't look like they're going to do that right now, or if the Kings get bounced early, because the Reign are going to make the playoffs regardless.
Yeah, I think that's a good clarification. The Reign are going to make the playoffs, regardless if they're a top 4 seed or
barring a
bottom
massive
3 seed.
collapse.
Yeah, it's got to be massive. I mean, it's got to be like losing the last. How many games do they have left? Like, let's just say they have 20 games left, which
Yeah.
I think it's a little less than that. But let's say they have 20.
You know who else is massive? Caleb Lawrence. Caleb Lawrence is back with the Ontario Reign.
Caleb Lawrence is back. I like that. I like Caleb Lawrence.
Yep.
But let's say they had 20 games
We know
left.
that.
They would have to lose 18 in regulation, and then probably lose the other. They would have to it would be bad.
They'd have to lose every game, basically.
But yeah, Brandt Clark, eligible for the Calder Cup playoffs. I asked Sturm last question of the interview. Schaff was about to turn off the camera, and I was like, hold on, I got one more. I want to ask Sturm about this. And I was like, how do you feel about Brandt Clark getting paper transaction? Like, is that something that perks your ears up, or is that something that, it's like a...
Oh, it happened.
It's nice, but we're going to push that aside until it actually comes.
Of course.
And then he looked at me and he was like, Clarky? He got paper transaction? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh my, that's crazy. You know more than me. But he was. You can tell he was really excited that Brandt Clark might be an option in the Calder Cup playoffs for this Ontario Reign squad.
Hickett's Clark will feed families. It's not like they did that last year. Okay, with that being said, NHL stuff. So we just had a wild trade deadline happen. Some unforeseen moves.
Yep.
Mikko Rantanen to the Dallas Stars. I just love the fact that Colorado traded him to Carolina just to get him out of their division. And then Carolina just traded him to Dallas. That's like Carolina. That's like the biggest FU almost. Like, that's so awesome. And the best part about that is it's probably going to be Dallas and Colorado in round 1. If Colorado finds a way to get to the 3 seed, don't count that out at all. It's probably going to happen. That Brad Marchand is a Florida Panther.
Marchand?
The Rat.
The Rat?
He's a rat. Either or.
No,
Yeah.
Laura.
He's a... Oh, wow.
He looks like Noah Laura, but you can't even lie.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so Brad Marchand's of Florida. Man, that team is going to be all... That team's gonna be funny. Just Kachuk, Bennett, and Marchand on the same team.
Don't want to run into them come May.
No joke, huh? And then, fitting that this is the LA Kings prospect team, Andrei Kuzmenko has been traded to LA Kings for a second-round draft pick. That's huge for the right-wing side for the Los Angeles Kings.
And that's going to bolster their power play, which has been very weak, similar to the Ontario Reign. System issue? Perhaps.
Maybe. Anyways, that's about it. We've got preview-wise. Let's get into the Ontario Reign Week 3 games. 2 at home, 1 at Pechanga Arena. And it will be covered to you right after this ad from Gowdy Law. We all know having a game plan is key when we come to see your family's future. Are you ready? Gowdy Law is here to help, specialize in estate planning. Gowdy Law ensures your loved ones, holy smokes, are protected from losing a ton of money in time to probate when you pass away. Just like on the ice, preparation matters. Don't wait till the last minute to make the right play. Visit GowdyLaw.com today to start planning for the future. Get estate planning pricing and a free consultation right on their website. It's literally that simple. The price is right on their website. Gowdy Law makes estate planning understandable, easy, understandable, and affordable. The link is in the description.
Wow, you messed up on the ad read.
4 times, to be specific.
Unbelievable.
Anyways, midweek matchup, Neil and Empire, the Ontario Reign take on the Tucson Roadrunners.
The Ontario Reign are back at home, sweet home, as they take on
Shout
the
Motley
Tucson
Crue.
Roadrunners Wednesday night. In the first, a solid forecheck from Stunica and Andre Lee sets up the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Ontario of the Inland Empire legend Taylor Ward point blank for the score. It is 1-0 Ontario. But from there, the wheels on the bus came off, as Andrew Agostino tied the game off a bad turnover by Caleb Jones. Tie game in the first. In the second, Julian Lutz scores to give the Roadrunners a 2-1 lead. Not too long after, Onyebuchi, you guys know him very well, pots one late in the second to give Tucson some insurance, and that insurance came in big time as former Reign Kevin Connaughton lights the lamp on the empty net to seal the deal. Roadrunners run the Reign right out of Toyota Arena, 4-1 the final.
Meep, meep.
Is it falling off?
Nope, we're good. That's just me cutting out the vibrations.
Oh.
So, Ontario, that is 3 straight for your Ontario Reign. They dropped this one by the final of 4-1. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. The Ontario Reign did not play horrible this game.
They didn't, especially in that first period.
The score does not reflect this game at all, in my opinion.
No, it wasn't. Well, the first and third period weren't that bad.
Per usual, the middle frame for the Ontario Reign has just continued to be bad.
It is statistically their worst period
by
this
a
season,
mile.
by a long shot, right? And the second period was really bad. There were defensive breakdowns everywhere on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in the offensive zone, the way they were setting up, not good. Neutral zone, they just weren't. They weren't there. And then in the defensive zone, they were just bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
There's no other way to put it. They were horrible. There is just absolutely no other way to put it. Let's get into the goals this game. Hey, all things got to start good, though, right? Taylor Ward capitalizes on a puck thrown in front by 5 of Tucson. Do we know who that is?
Is that Robbie Russo?
Yeah, that is Russo.
Yeah.
Feeds Taylor Ward point blank. Matty Villalta was not expecting it whatsoever, and it's 1-0 Ontario pretty quickly. Roadrunners get even. Ducks/Goals legend Andrew Agostino. For a second, just pause this real quick. Based on how bad Riley Walsh has been this year, I actually thought that was Riley Walsh that threw that to the middle. He was on the ice. That's why I'm saying that. No, Caleb Jones serving up hot, flaky turnovers here. Wide open in the slot. Andrew Agostino. Copley has 0 chance.
Yeah, that's the second time in the past 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, I should say, that we've seen a turnover kind of like that at Toyota Arena. It happened a couple weeks ago with Atu Yamson, where he just turned around, kind of threw a puck towards the middle. Really odd play by Yamson a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this one, kind of the same deal, except that it was in a different part of the ice. Caleb Jones behind the net just kind of turns around and just kind of throws it towards the middle, and there's going to be a guy there on the opposing team 8 out of 10 times, and so far it has really bit them in the butt.
Yep, that is definitely some way to say it. Second goal for Tucson, thrown in front, and it is
Julian Lutz?
Yeah, it is Julian Lutz. I forgot who that was for a second. Julian Lutz, first time he scored against Ontario all year. He puts Tucson ahead 2-1. Later on in the second period, Montanya Onyebuchi, you know him based on the Onyebuchi Doty fight. Onyebuchi gathers one from the left circle, beats Copley over the glove, goes up top, 8-ball corner pocket, corner 3.
And we're going to see this a lot throughout the week. The puck kind of just finds the stick of the opposing players. That aren't the Reign. It happened a lot in the goals game on Saturday night. I mean, this one is a puck battle. It looks like Pitlick is there, Dvorak is there, gets kicked out, and it's just perfect, right? To Onyebuchi.
It rolls right between Fagemo and Rowe.
Wide open, left circle.
Literally could not have been any more perfect. Third period, Ontario gets the 6-on-5 try. They lose a puck, and Kevin Connaughton, Reign legend, scores the winner, and that will be all she wrote. Tucson wins 4-1. The Ontario Reign are continuing to fall out of the first place race. It's just getting worse and worse by the day at this point. If we're really worried about that.
Yeah, I think the standings are starting to even itself out a little bit. The Reign still have a few games to catch up on Coachella Valley and Calgary, so I think that with the games that they had to make up, I think it's really going to be a Colorado-Ontario race for first place. But yeah. Colorado's playing really well right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to slow down, especially in the final stretch of this season. Something I want to touch on in this game. In Colorado, and it turned out to not even matter because the Reign, spoiler, went 0-3 this week. But Sturm split up the second line of Andre Lee, Jack Stunica, and Taylor Ward in Colorado. He opted to go with the heavyweight line that we saw a little bit last year. We saw Lee, Hellenius, and Ward on the same line. They didn't score at all in Colorado.
That's not the big boy line.
It was, well, they had Hodgson on there as well.
Hodgson
and then Doty as well.
Doty,
yeah.
Yes, correct.
But it's still a big line. I mean, Andre Lee, Hellenius, and Ward, that's pretty heavy. And to open up this game pretty quickly, you saw that second line back together, and they scored on, I believe, the third shift of the game. And the first two shifts looked good too.
Yes.
So I wonder why Sturm ever split up that line.
Questions that will remain to be answered, or Marco Sturm will take it to his grave. We're probably not going to get an answer outside the fact that maybe it's overcoaching. It could be a number of things. Ontario Reign-wise, the power play continues to be abysmal the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Sturm was not happy about the power play. He said it's got to be better.
Yeah.
It's starting to become a bigger issue than what it was, and now it's starting to hurt them a little bit. In the third period, to end the second, there was a little bit of a scrum. The Reign had a power play coming out of the tunnel, and they really didn't see any chances. And so Sturm is starting to get a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Restless.
Yeah.
About the power play.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see that a lot from Sturm, especially in the post-game interviews, but he was pretty upset about how they have looked recently when they're on the man advantage.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to take note from Kyle Garcia from Hockey Royalty, we got to talk with him on Friday. You know what? Maybe it's time the Reign pull a Kings and go 5 forwards on the power play.
Yeah, I don't disagree with him.
It might be time to do that. So you run your usual 4 forwards of Hudon, Malott, Fagemo, and Godin on the power play 1, and then throw somebody with a decent shot up top, like a Martin Chromiak. Martin Chromiak can skate the puck in too, so
yeah,
that'll work.
You really have 3.5 guys of the same skill set of on the Reign. You have Martin Chromiak, who has seen some power play one time when Fagemo was down. You have Jack Stunica, who is probably your fastest guy on the Reign, who can bring the puck into the zone. And then you have Francesco Pinelli, which, as we go on this week, has looked like a completely different player as of late. Mm-hmm. Just confidence galore in Pinelli. Same skill set. And then you have Atu Yamson, which I don't think he's anywhere near those 3 guys who could run a power play 1. But yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think Riley Walsh really brings too much onto the table on the power play 1. And I want to see adjustments made. I think it's time. They have struggled all year with the power play. And
it's been horrible. There is no other way to put it. The Ontario Reign power play is awful.
awful.
We're looking at the power play rankings right now. In the Western Conference, the Ontario Reign are 12th out of 17 at 17.6%. They are behind teams like the San Diego Gulls, behind teams like the Henderson Silver Knights, behind teams like the Rockford Ice Hogs. Like what in tarnation?
And with a team with so much talent, like the Reign are probably the most talented team in the AHL right now, other than maybe like the Hershey Bears, because they don't have a lot of prospects on this team, man. They have a lot of AHL vets who have been there, done that. And this team really should be better on the power play. They should not be as mediocre as they are. It's almost like you don't want them to be on the power play right now.
Maybe the Ontario Reign need a sort of a switch or a change in focus in the power play unit. Instead of going pass, looking for that perfect shot, usually ends up being Fagemo from the left circle. Let's be frank here.
Usually.
Or something to the point where they get traffic. Maybe it's time you start shooting in bunches and hope you get a rebound and put something home.
Yeah, gotta get those greasy ones. Sturm touching that a little bit when I asked him, what do you want to see changed?
Yeah.
You know, and I was hoping to get a little bit of like maybe a personnel change, you know, maybe change something up. But he said,
I think everyone wants that right now.
Yeah, but he said, you know, greasy goals, gotta shoot low and whatnot. And, you know, that is true. I mean, I feel like last year we saw a lot more of Charles Hudon on the power play. And even though Hudon is top 10 in points this year in the AHL.
He is an assist merchant.
I don't see him taking that left-handed shot that we used to see a lot last year.
Yeah, we saw it a ton last year too.
And with Hudon shooting more, it opened up Fagemo a little more, and that's why Fagemo was able to pot 43 goals last year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a lot to be done on the power play, a lot to talk about. But obviously nothing's probably going to change, and it's just going to continue being mediocre.
I mean, you can go with that, or because the Reign run a 1-3-1 on the power play, maybe you switch Gaudin and Fagemo. Fagemo becomes the bumper, which I don't think is the world's greatest idea. However, if you run a fake to Hudon, you get one guy to bite, and Fagemo's open in the middle. Goalies, duck, dodge this. Like you got to be expecting a shot.
So you're saying you kind of want him to play the slot a little more?
Yes,
like the high slot.
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
High slot between the circles. Put him in a dangerous area because his shot's already dangerous. It's just goalies have seen so much of him. Left circle, left circle, left circle, left circle, and he's not Alex Ovechkin where it's not automatic.
Anymore. Yeah, it's just not. It's not working anymore.
Now, it's not to take away from the fact that he had 21 goals at the time of this game. He has 21 goals on the year, but no goals in his last 9 games. He's got to switch something up.
No, for sure. I don't disagree
whatsoever. Anyways, we're running on for forever. So, let's get into game 2. Classic Rock Night Toyota Arena. While everybody's working for the weekend, the Ontario Reign are ready to entertain the Friday night crowd against the San Diego Goals Suck. In the first frame, a little bit chippy and a little heavyweight tilt. Travis Howe and Jacob Doty give us a very good tilt. Yard sale on the ice, pads all over the place, and Doty drops Howe in about a minute or so. Anyways, now let's get to the game. 3 minutes later, on the power play, for the first time in forever, V5 Fagemo, his 22nd goal of the year on the power play in the Reign. Yeah, he's alive, by the way. It's 1-0 Ontario, but as Newton's third law says, every action must have an equal or opposite reaction. As Roll McEwen levels things up on a shot through traffic. 2 minutes later, on the San Diego power play, 1 turnover, and Francesco Pinelli puts one home shorthanded. Top cheese for the boys on Oscar Dansk, and the Reign go up 2-1. But every action must have an equal or opposite reaction. Sid the Science Kid, Igor Sidorov, ties things up on a wrister that he just completely blows by Copley. It's 2-2. No scoring in the third period, so this game would need extra time. And in overtime, about a minute and a half in, an awful line change by the Ontario Reign leaves Ryan Carpenter, goals captain, wide open in front of Phoenix Copley. Takes about 3 chances and buries the third try. Third time's a charm. And the goals win, and the Reign have lost 4 straight games by the final of 3-2. 4 straight for the Reign.
4 straight.
It's March. It's like we've made these comments like a couple of episodes before. No need to panic. No. Now it's time to panic. This is not good.
I think we're at that borderline panic mark where you would like to see them play better going into this final stretch of games.
Yep.
But it's not completely the end of the world because you still have a little bit of time left. Now, if they're playing like this up until when they go out to like the Midwest and like Central, America, then we're at a point where it's like, okay, this is concerning because you're playing bad and the playoffs are literally around the corner. You don't have time to change things now. You have to get ready for the playoffs. Right now, it's a little bit like in the in-between, the tweener mark, I like to say in baseball where like if someone's getting hot around like early September, I'm like, because if he's hot in early September, he's going to get a little bit
gonna
cold
wear off
at the end, and then going into October, it's going to be a little weird, right?
Yeah, and then it's a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, it's like a tweener mark right now with the rain. That's kind of how it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Rain, ice cold, 4 straight losses. You're as cold as ice. Better have some classic rock references because this was classic rock night. Just one quick note. I don't know if you have video of it, but Luke Rowe was a scratch this game. And he got to react to his own promo video, Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. And he just cracked a laugh at it. And we were just sitting there looking at him. And it's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's... And you can tell that he's actually like a classic rock guy. It's like he was singing the song as well. Luke, he looks like a classic rock guy, if we're being honest.
Fair.
Air Force, come on.
Okay.
Gotta be classic rock guy.
Gotcha. So, getting into the goals... Samuel Fagemo, remember how we brought up something about greasy goals? Yeah. Folks, can I introduce you to Fagemo getting a sort of greasy goal? Finally picking up a goal. Francesco Pinelli feeds one straight to the slot, catches the goal's napping, and Fagemo goes backhand over the blocker of Oscar Dansk. And it's 1-0 Ontario. Second period, Rowan McEwen tees one up. And Copley completely out of position now that we're watching the video of this. And he just gets beat clean. He's lined up way off center. Ontario Reign get ahead. Great turnover forced by Jack Stunica. It's a 2-0. Francesco Pinelli, little fakey top shelf for the boys. It's 2-1 Ontario. Getting even now. Igor Sidorov. God, what even happened here? Like, this thing just gets thrown up high, and Sidorov, not even a hard shot.
It was a really quick release from Sidorov. It was more of like a get it on net and see what happens. And I think Copley was screened. He never reacted to it. He just never saw the puck ever until the puck hit the back of the net.
Mm-hmm. If that's even a way to say it. Yeah, 2-2. Nothing going in the third period. So guess what this game's going to?
Overtime.
And let's break into this. So, just pause. Stop. Just stop. So, Reign dump in to go get a change. Here's the thing. Rowan McEwen is back on this puck, and he realizes Reign are making a change. Oh! Let's just quickly get this up the ice. He turns, throws it up the boards. Justin Bailey enters the zone. Bailey shoots low. Carpenter shoots. Miss. Carpenter tries again. He scores.
Let's talk about that first.
Oh, wait. Actually, no. Did you exit out of that?
No, I'm right here.
Go back. Yeah, okay. Francesco Pinelli's reaction says it all. Look at Pinelli. He's like, what are we doing? Look, just like, bro, why? He like looks at the Reign bench and he's like, guys, are you serious right now?
So
you hung Copley out to dry, period.
So when the Reign cleared this puck, I immediately said, and you were with me, I immediately said, you got to go fast. Because I saw Godin and Hickett's changing. And I forgot who else was on with them. But he was behind Godin and Hickett's. So I said, you got to go fast because you cannot leave that last guy out to dry.
Something's telling me it's Malott, but I don't know if that's
I have no idea.
It.
I forgot. So Godin and Hickett's go off. And the goalie has an opportunity to grab the puck or have it and fling it down the ice, kind of like Igor Shesterkin, the way he does all the time, right?
Yes.
But the goalie plays it like, glove behind the stick, almost like
Plays
like
it in
an
front.
outfielder with the right knee back. You
Yep.
just get in front of it. He plays it like that. So I go, okay, they're gonna be fine. McEwen goes, turns, and flings. Next thing I know,
Justin Bailey is wide open
there's
about right now.
nobody back.
Yeah, that's
And
the
I
issue.
was like, what? How is that possible? Well, I figured out after the game that Marco Sturm said, first of all 3 guys cannot change. I was like, wait, all 3 guys went off for a change in overtime and you didn't have possession? Makes no sense. Can't happen. On top of that, it was straight up just a slow change.
Yeah.
Just an overall terrible change cannot happen.
Yeah. I would rather, at that point in time, I would rather have the rain change too quickly at that point and get called for a too many men call rather than having San Diego enter the zone 2-0.
Yeah.
Like, that was awful.
And then Copley gets a save, rebound, gets another save,
and then Carpenter's
nobody
just
can
whack.
get it.
Yeah.
Like,
And Carpenter's just right there. Foot in the crease. Yeah, no, not Brett Hull. So that's not illegal. And he just dunks it in. Like the rain threw Ryan Carpenter and Justin Bailey a lob, and they just dunked it home.
yeah, overall, just a bad play from the rain.
Like, that is the worst thing I could have seen in overtime, period. Like, if they worked the shot high and just beat Copley clean, like, okay, I can live with that. But that was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that was not a situation where the puck just bounced their way. That was
horrible.
like you said, self-inflicted, terrible. This game, the first goal, right? So, like we said 10 minutes ago, maybe, we think that they should go to a 5-forward offense on a power play, right? A 5-forward unit. And we mentioned Stunica, Chromiak, we mentioned Pinelli. So on this goal from, from Fagimo.
Yeah. Pinelli
It was a
feeds in front.
4-on-4. It was a 4-on-4.
Yep, and the rain run 4 forwards.
Then it was a 5-on-4 because the power play started right as Pinelli had the puck.
Yep.
Right? So now it's a power play.
So the rain had 5 forwards.
And I get the goals didn't have their defense set up, right? Which is a big deal. But Pinelli skates it smoothly into the zone, gets a shot off, hits a defender in front, goes to the puck, gets it, passes it to Fagimo, and Fagimo backhands it in. Why can't we do that on the power play normally? Why can't Pinelli or Stunica or Chromiak be a zone entry guy for the power play?
Like, to put this in baseball terms, in baseball, what the Rain are doing is like purposely loading the bases and then trying to do stuff. Like you go single first to third, and then single where the guy can easily score, but no, you purposely hold him because you want the grand slam try. Like, no, that's not how this works. You got to take chances we're given. Apply pressure early, apply pressure often. The Rain do that in this situation, and Samuel Fagimo ends up basically catching the goal's defense with their pants down. Like,
yeah, I just love how that play looked from Pinelli, who has been buzzing this entire week.
Yep.
And I really do think that instead of Riley Walsh out there on the power play, and I get why and I get why Walsh is out there, I think it should be Pinelli. Like, just straight up. Will you allow more shorthanded chances? Sure. Your power play is awful, dude. Like, you need to score on the power play, and it's costing you games. You need to score. And Pinelli, I think, could be an answer. Stunica can be an answer. Chromiak can be an answer. All three of those guys, if you put them on the power play 1 unit over a guy like Riley Walsh, I think you would score a lot more.
100% agree. The Ontario Reign have 33 power play goals on 188 tries, 17.6%. So I'm going to put this in comparison to some of these other teams in terms of actual goals. The Ontario Reign have 171 goals this year. Coachella Valley, San Jose, not San Jose. Coachella Valley, Colorado, and Calgary all have about 190, 191 goals. So advantage by 20 goals. The Reign have 33. Calgary has 40. Colorado has 45. And Coachella Valley has 39. San Jose has 50. That's why I was thinking that. I mean, they have more like their power play is just downright better.
Yeah.
And that right now is the difference in seeds 1 through 4 in the Pacific Division.
And that really is the difference. And it's really weird because, like Joe said, the Reign offensive output is really good. They don't get outshot very often.
They're
in games.
a 5-on-5 team.
And they score.
Like once they get an advantage, they try to be too cute, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to see because this team can be so complete. First of all, no, we'll get to that later. Second of all, if they can score on the power play, they would be the best team in the league
by a country mile.
But they can't score on the power play,
Yeah.
and it's really, really depressing to see.
Like as a fan, when we're saying, get in the show, God, now we got to watch 2 minutes of this.
Yeah,
Like maybe we'll score, but probably not. Like we have no
Yeah.
confidence. Like that is not good.
it's more like the other team won't score for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's good.
Yay.
Yo,
Not good.
that Jacob Doty fight was absolutely
Awesome.
insane. That might be my new favorite fight.
That was awesome.
That was, you don't,
I still like Doty and Sonority, but like that is so good too. If I had co-favorites, I could go with
no,
that.
yeah. Dude, the fact that fight started in between the circles and ended behind the net, you just don't see that
That
ever.
says about everything. And Travis Howe and Doty are flapping gums at each other. You could like put this on video or whatnot. You literally could see Travis Howe talking to Doty throughout this fight.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
And the referees really let that, they could have stopped that fight 3 or 4 times. Like they could have, and I don't think the fans would have been like, oh, they just let it go, man. And then
Yeah.
Doty got pinned in between the boards, and I was like, oh no, Doty's about to lose one. And he comes over with a right hand. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh!
It was so sick.
And then he knocked Howe off his feet. Didn't even punch him. Just like kind of wrestled him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, more fights. Beep whoop, beep whoop. Taylor Ward and Roman Canal get into a fight. And then, as a result of that fight, Charles Houdon and
Easton
Brodzinski get into a fight. 2 fights. Which one came first? Ward and Canal. So Houdon and Brodzinski get the gate because you can't fight after the first fight. There's no such things like coinciding fights. Like only 2 people can take the 5-minute major. After that, it's a misconduct.
I don't even know if that was the reason why they got ejected. That's what I thought too. I think, were you there with me when we were talking about that?
Yeah, it's that, or it was a secondary conduct.
That's what Sturm said in the postgame interview, and he said that in all of his professional hockey life, as a player and as a coach, that he learned something new. Apparently, Houdon didn't drop the glove in the second fight. He didn't do anything, but it was the fact that they went at it again after the first time. They went at it on the opposite end earlier in the period that they got ejected.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he wasn't happy about it. He was like, that is the first time I've ever seen that, and you gotta let them play.
Hey, anyone remember the name Ben Betker at all? May or may not be from when I trashed him in a JST. Jordan Samuels Thomas. Yeah. That was from the teddy bear toss night. Yeah, he was back and he was reffing this game. Oh, funny.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Bad call.
That makes sense.
Coincidence? I think not. We're getting up there on time. I mean, last week's podcast was so short.
We're just making up time.
Yeah. Game 3. Let's go south down the I-15. Yes, I got that right. To San Diego, to Pechanga Arena, where the Reign goes rematch.
The Reign are going to try to salvage the week, and for the 3rd time, the Reign have scored first. As Luke rode the puck aggressively at the net, his 2nd of the season to give the Reign an early 1-0 lead. Late in the first, Jeff Malat scored his 100th AHL goal and 200th AHL point. That's a lot of points. 2-0 Reign. In the second, Ontario is playing well until they weren't. The wheels didn't just come off the bus flew off a cliff. 3 goals in 4.5 minutes for San Diego late in the second period to give them a 3-2 lead. What is going on? Wait a minute. Mr. Stud Muffin Stunica coming to the rescue. He ties the game up at 3, but unfortunately, it was not enough. As Han Mishak would score with 5 minutes left to play, And Nathan Gaucher would pot the empty netter. The Reign gets swept in a weekend series to the San Diego Gulls and have dropped their last 5. I end every single Reign recap at the same spot. When the music goes
That's consistency right
consistent. All right, where do you want to start with this game? I mean, do you just want to go into the goals?
Let's just get the goals done quickly. Luke Rowe,
Let's do it.
first shot. By the way, just like a word to the people at Pechanga Arena or whoever's running the Goals YouTube channel. Guys, stop trying to give us motion sickness with the freaking camera.
So they actually fixed it after this goal, but this goal was the first goal on YouTube is pretty
God,
bad.
that was horrible. I don't understand how you could miss Rowe taking the shot itself, and the shot hitting the back of the net all at once. And yet you still covered Rowe. It was like they were playing on like 100 ping or something. Like, what are
Anyway, Hudon passed to Rowe, Rowe back to Hudon, Hudon back to Rowe, Rowe from the point, got through traffic.
Tease it up and scores.
1-0.
1-0. Having a great time here. Later on in the period, Fagimo entering the zone, feeds Jeff Malott, squares up, boom! Over Ville Huso's glove. It's Malott's 100th AHL goal, and he did it on an NHL goaltender. Huso's been in the NHL a little bit this year.
Yeah.
And it's 2-0 Ontario. And in the second period, Justin Bailey, we still don't know. So neither of us really watched this game. Justin Bailey got a penalty shot from something. Like,
AHL.com needs to do better, bro. AHL.com
like
needs to do better.
there is no penalty in here at
It's
all.
just a penalty shot.
Like, a penalty shot was assessed. We don't know what for. Like, can't do much with that. Let's just assume the penalty was on Riley Walsh. All right, I'm just kidding.
We'll just assume it.
No, I'm just kidding,
Or
guys.
Jacob Dvorak.
I wouldn't doubt that either. Dvorak actually looks good now. So yeah, Bailey scores, and then Judd Caulfield, of all people, nods things up. Gaucher moves it in front, and Dryden McKay. McKay, reach. You reach. I teach.
Ooh.
You reach. Caulfield teach. Yeah. So that happened. Then Nikita Nestorenko walks in, roll out the red carpet at this point, and beats McKay over the blocker, and it's 3-2 San Diego. Ontario gets even. It's Jack Stunica entering the zone. I mean, with speed, 2-on-1. Stunica keeps, pulls it, and goes Roof Daddy-O Jr. over Ville Huso's glove, and it's 3-3. San Diego gets ahead on... I mean, this is a weird shot by Nico. Is it Mijatovic?
Yeah.
Mijatovic? Something like that? Yeah. That Sidorov tries again, and he just knocks it in front. It's Han Mishak wide open in the slot.
This is another one of those goals where it's just like, puck just bounces literally right into his stick.
Yeah. Right spot, right time. Mike Jones tried to kick it out, and he just kicked it right to him. Like, that's unfortunate.
It looks like Jones tried to kick it, and then
he whipped and he kicked it
player
behind
kicked
him.
it again. It was like a kick, and then that's
Goal.
unfortunate, man.
That's unfortunate. And then Nathan Gaucher, Ducks first round draft pick from 3 years ago. Scores. Game over.
Goals win.
Goals win.
Rain lose.
Rain
Even more
lose.
importantly.
And the Reign only pick up 1 point of a possible 6 this week, which really now shakes up the standings. However, this isn't as bad as we're thinking. Like when we came into this podcast, like when we started setting up and such, we're thinking like, oh man, the Reign are just so screwed right now. No. The Reign are 4 points back. They have 4 games in hand on Calgary and 2 in hand on Coachella. I mean, if you really want to go down this line, the Reign play the Colorado Eagles 3 more times at home this year. Dude, it's gonna come down to the Reign in Colorado.
Dude, that's gonna be so awesome.
I'm telling you right now, for the Reign faithful, if you guys were here at all like last year at Toyota Arena, if you remember the game between Ontario and Bakersfield at the end of March, that game had a playoff feel to it. Checks everywhere because both teams at that point in time were fighting for a playoff spot. Or they were they were not fighting for a playoff spot. They were fighting for home ice advantage. The Reign would then go on to play Bakersfield with home ice advantage as they won that game. But they wanted home ice so badly that it was a playoff match. It was a playoff game.
The last 3 games are against Colorado.
Oh, wait, hold on.
The Goals and the Canucks.
Yeah. So
And
another thing, San Jose's in 5th at 65 points. So the top 5 seeds right now are separated by 5 points. You got San Jose at 65, Ontario at 66, Calgary at 68, Coachella Valley and Colorado each at 70.
it's sort of the same scenario as last year, because last year it was 2 through 5 or 2 through 6, I believe, if I remember correctly. And the 1 seed was the Firebirds, and they kind of ran
Yes.
away with it at the end, so they didn't really matter. Hopefully that doesn't happen this year, because the Reign are only 4 points back, same amount of games played as Colorado for the 1 seed.
Yep.
The Firebirds also are tied for the 1 seed with more games played. They're at 56, 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
The Rangers have 58 games, 68 points. So the Reign really, with a couple wins, second place, it's going to be Colorado and the Reign. They play one more time at home at the end of the year. That's going to be
An absolute barn burner.
They don't play now one more time. They play 3 more times.
Yeah.
At the end of the month,
They go
29th, 30th.
Yep, they back to back and then April 17th.
Wow, those are going to be huge games.
Yep, those can potentially like flip the standings upside down. Like that could move Colorado to 5th and the Reign to 1st. It could do vice versa. Like a lot can happen between now and beyond that.
So hear this real quick. After their 4 games out in the Central America, right? Is that what it's called? No, it's not what it's called.
Central America.
That's-
What is this?
that's
Guatemala?
south.
Is this Jamaica?
Central USA.
Jamaica. Panama.
So they play Tucson, right? Okay.
Okay.
Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose.
Uh-huh.
San Jose.
Uh-huh.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Those are 8 straight games against teams who are in the top 5.
They're all in
Huge.
the top 5.
Huge games.
Those 8 games are going. Oh my God, that was just a massive spit. I almost spit on the camera over here. Those games, dude, honestly, we're getting up there in time. We might not even have time to do a weather report because we're just
I forgot about that.
yapping about the standings here. Welcome back to Make It Yap. The top 5 teams are separated by 5 points. And of course, you want to win the division. Or at the very minimum, you want to walk out in the top 2. Like,
Yes.
we've stated that enough. Like, I remember saying something back in November how the standings are starting to even themselves out because Calgary started running away with stuff at the start of the year.
Couldn't be more even right now.
Yeah, it couldn't be more even if you're dang right. So the top 5, and then after that, it's Abbotsford at 61. Tucson, Bakersfield, and San Jose are in a little bit of a dogfight for that last spot.
Yeah.
Tucson at 59, Bakersfield at 57, San Diego at 54, and San Diego has won 3 out of their last 4. So they've won 3 out of their last 4, and they're 8-1-1 in their last 10. Watch out, buckle up. The Pacific Division is going to be an absolute barn burner, basically, for the end of the year. It's going to be exciting, folks. With that being said, let's get into the rain weather report brought to you by Rain. Speaking of rain, we've had a lot of rain in Southern California recently.
We have.
Yeah. You have the 100%. What do you got?
I got Francesco Pinelli. Yo.
Yep.
Kid was buzzing. Even in game 1, he didn't put up any points. Best player on the ice by far. Kid was buzzing in game 1. In game 2, he comes back out, scores a goal, or not scores a goal. Gets an assist with Fagimo, which, as we said earlier, created a play. Looked very good on the play. Should be on the power play 1, right? Then he flips the script. He scores a goal, right? Great shot from Pinelli on the breakaway 2-0 with Stunica. Faked out the goalie. He looks good. Then got the assist in game 3 against the goals. He got a secondary assist on Luke Rowe's point shot. He has looked good. He has flipped the script on his season. He is turning the corner, and Kings fans should be very excited about Pinelli.
Francesco Pinelli, as we said the start of the year, we were thinking this guy'd be the X factor of the Ontario Reign, and right now he has looked that way the past 2 weeks. Anytime you need to get hot for Francesco Pinelli, it is right now. I kind of forget like that this thing's just connected to the table. Like that was just instinct. Yeah, Frankie doing the most. Let's just say that. 50%, just for the fact it's kind of like a celebratory 50% because he finally scored Samuel Fagemo.
Yeah, he was on 10 straight games of being scoreless. He scores a goal. That must have been huge for him. You can see it. Sturm said you can see it in his face. He needed that goal.
Get the monkey off your back.
And then he picked up an assist as well for Malot's goal on the breakaway, like we talked about earlier. Huge for Fagemo. Hopefully that gets him going a little bit because he's going to be an important piece, obviously, if they want to get deep into the playoffs. If
Samuel Fagemo's rolling, the Ontario Reign offense is rolling, and that's just how it goes.
Yep.
No other way to play. Can I kind of take the 0%?
Yeah.
Yeah. The entire defensive core is taking the 0%. From the Jones turnover on Wednesday to leaving guys hung out to dry Friday.
Ciccone made a bad turnover as well on the Nestorenko goal.
Yeah. And then Ciccone on Saturday with a pretty brutal turnover, as you just said.
So the Reign are 1-6 since Angus Booth got injured. Not great. The Reign are 0-5 since Ciccone has joined the squad. Not great.
Yeah.
Now, is Ciccone the reason why they're losing? Of course not.
No.
That's not the reason why they're losing. The entire team is not playing well. But I think the Booth thing has a little bit to do with something. And Portillo has also been down. So that's another big deal. Portillo is... Copy's playing better than Portillo this season. But Portillo is still playing good. They are a good tandem.
But this now needs to be brought up. If you don't have confidence in Dryden McKay, why is he on the roster?
Yeah, you cannot run Copley out there all the time. You can see in that game versus the goals at Ontario, he was worn out.
Respectfully, he's not Grant Fuhr. He's not Tony Esposito where you're going to start him all but 2 games in the regular season. Like, no.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, I totally agree.
It doesn't work that way. Like, even when these really good guys that are registering 65, 70 games in the National Hockey League, Hellebuck, Shesterkin, even though Shesterkin's had some skids this year, like all of these big name goalies, Bobrovsky, like I could go on. I could go on forever. We've lost him for a second. Anyways, so what does that mean? Yeah, there you go. Igor, woohoo! I mean, I think now this is the time to say this. If there's any chance Jacob Ingham gets another shot at the Ontario Reign after October, because he was up there and he played a game and didn't look so hot, I think it's now. Jacob Ingham at least has a little bit of a background with the Ontario Reign. A heck of a lot bigger one than Dryden McKay does.
Yeah.
So there's that. Or do you go down the Aaron Dell route and sign a free agent?
I don't know. I just think the original question is a good question. If you don't have confidence in McKay, why do you call him up when you have Ingham still in Greenville? I mean, there's got to be something. There's got to be like an underlying reason.
There has to be some development related. There has to be.
Yeah, there has
There's
to be.
There's no way there isn't.
You cannot just run Copley out there for 7 straight games.
Yep.
And 2 back-to-backs. And then McKay didn't look great either against San Diego, even though that there was 37 shots. The rain kind of let them out to dry a little bit. But still, it just cannot really... You cannot do that. You're going to continue to lose games if you keep running Copley out there like he's some sort of like...
Greek god.
And this is the first time he's played that much since his ACL injury.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So... yeah, it's not great.
It's like trying to teach a kid how to swim by just throwing him in the deep end of a lake. Let's let him
low-key version.
Let him ease into it a little bit. Yeah, I know. I'm going off the rails this episode. I got it. Next week for the Ontario Reign. Yeah, we're at 48 minutes. We better get a move on. Next week for the Ontario Reign, double dip the chip in Tucson. The Reign take on the Roadrunners twice at the Tucson Convention Center. Arizona's back on the same time as us now. Daylight savings time is back, baby. Let's
Thank
go.
God.
And then 3 p.m. Sunday, the Reign are back at home. St. Patty's Day, boom, against the Henderson Silver Knights. Zip. Okay, cool. With that being said, thank you very much for listening to us yap for 48 minutes. But more importantly, thank you very much for watching episode 24, Kobe, of the Make It Rain podcast. You know the drill from here on out. Please subscribe down below. We're looking to get to Spotify and Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, not Apple Music. Well, maybe it happens in the near future. We don't know. Maybe we got some interviews with Reign players coming up soon. You don't know. Subscribe. You don't miss out on any of it. We'll let you know from there. Follow us over on all the socials at Make It Rain Pod. Have a great week. We will see you next Monday.
Mehls Media Production.
Yes.